I think we can all agree that if President Trump fired Robert Mueller as special counsel, there would be an explosion in Washington. The press would go crazy. Republicans as well as Democrats would declare there was a constitutional crisis, and on and on and on. But there's just one problem with this storyline, which the media keep pushing again and again and again. The president says he's not going to do that. The White House says he's not going to do that. I've just been watching in amazement lately. I guess it was the other night, Sunday night, the president was taking a couple of questions in front of the plane or the helicopter, and a reporter asked, "Are you considering firing Bob Mueller?" "No, I'm not," Trump said. Pretty unambiguous. Came up again yesterday with Sarah Huckabee Sanders on Fox News. Any consideration of firing Bob Mueller? She says that's not happening. And yet the question keeps being asked so that, for example, when Republican Senator Bob Corker went on MSNBC's Morning Joe yesterday, he was asked, how would you personally react if the president fired Bob Mueller? And he said, there would be a revolt up here. It's almost as if nobody wants to believe the denials because it gets in the way of a good storyline. You know, it's more fun, exciting to speculate about what would happen than to, kind of put that story on the back burner when you have repeated denials from the White House. In fact, although they take shots at the investigation all the time, the White House, through its lawyers, is cooperating with Robert Mueller's special counsel investigation. They've made witnesses available, documents available. The president still says it's a hoax, but the White House is cooperating. Now, some of this got kicked up because Democratic Senator Mark Warner made a speech on the Senate floor saying there is a red line that cannot be crossed there. The president must not fire Robert Mueller. Again, scoring partisan points by imagining an inflammatory scenario that we have no reason at this point to believe. Now, is it possible that into next year, if this thing drags on, the president will change his mind, Mueller will do something that aggravates him as he pursues the cooperation of Mike Flynn, the case against Paul Manafort, new charges that might be true? Sure, it's possible. It's also possible that we'll land a man on Mars next year. I'm not saying the possibility is even that remote, but there's something about the media pushing this narrative. There was a Chicago Tribune columnist, and the headline was, Trump insists he won't fire Mueller. I don't believe it. That's the attitude of the press. They don't believe it. Journalists, pundits, commentators, they're saying, no, he could do it. You wait. And therefore, we need to talk about it. And what if? And if this happened? If there's starting to be rumblings, you know how these stories play out. White House aides warn that if Mueller doesn't straighten up, they might be forced to take action. Well, then it's a really important story to cover. But right now, it's a hypothetical. It's a hypothetical that the president himself and people on his behalf have denied, and yet that doesn't seem to be slowing down the media narrative. I guess this is just their way of celebrating Christmas.